gonna resume the session. Okay, today what we're gonna see how do you gonna configure a routing protocol, and also how do we configure the routers. Now I've showed you how I created this. All right. So basically, let me just, create it again. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to close this. No need to save. I go down, select my routers, bring it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the network is actually connected between left and right. In between got 2 routers. That's the idea of this setup. We're going to interconnect all the routers together using existing connection, gigabit port. Some of you might be wondering, so usually router we connect using serial port. Yeah, we can also use serial ports to connect. So I'm going to show you how to make it so that we can have serial ports as part of our setup. Okay, so for that, double click each router. Then you see here, this is your router. If you cannot see, zoom in a little. I know this is actually a software, but can you see at the end here, got a on-off button. Off it. See, even though software, Cisco made it in such a way, you understand that it's like a real router. Basically, when I turn it off, command line device won't give you any output. So if I turn it on, then yeah, you can see. See why I turn it off? Because I'm going to do a little modification onto the system by adding on some components. Now, what component are we going to add on? Let's see. We want there you go. This one, right? What is this? The serial port. So if you take up NIM 2T card on the left here, you got NIM cover, you got NIM 4 Ethernet ports, you got 100FX fiber port, you got a SMD port, GLC T connector, GLC TE connector. So Manila, what we are using NIM 2T connector. That means what? It's a network interface module. It has 2 ports, which is basically serial port. So if it is a serial port, okay, good. So what are we looking at in serial ports? Well, it's now can connect using additional 2 more interfaces using serial. That's what. So now imagine you practically what have you done is so far created or installed your physical card, power on your device. Okay, then I go to command line. There you go. So this will come in as your add-on card in your system. So let's wait a while. It's booting up. There you go. It's done. So now I say, no, I don't want you to ask me step-by-step question. I know what to put in the system. So I'm going to enter straight, go into my router. So now I'm in the router, show run. I can see my configurations. Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to do for each router. Let's go to router 1. And turn it off. Zoom in, turn it off. Bring in the 2T. Turn it on. Close. Next router. Turn it off. 2T. Turn it on. Close. Router bottom. Turn it off. Bring in the 2T. Turn it on. Voila. So now, what happens? If I try to connect these routers together, what I mean by that is if I try to connect these routers together, yeah, connect on not the gigabit, but serial. So if like this, you cannot collect serial, because why? Serial is this one. The red color connection is what is serial is all about. So you got to choose between either one. DC, DT. What's this DC DT thing is all about? DC DT is basically, if you wanted to compare, it's like how should I say? Yeah. ISP and the client. So you now have Unify at home. How much speed? 300 meg, 500 meg. How come they can make sure you get 300 meg or 500 meg? How do they manage to do that? Yeah. How do they manage to do that? Interestingly, how do they manage to do that? Well, basically, they manage to do that because of these two things: serial cable with a DC or a DT. DT data terminal equipment, DC data communication equipment. Who is this communication equipment is? This is basically my ISP. So in this scenario, you have to act as your own ISP lah. So I'm just going to do randomly on the left, first one to become a serial port, then take the next one. Same thing over here, take the available serial cable, go to the next one, and then take this guy's serial cable, and then go to this guy. And finally from here, I go to this guy. Okay, so you actually can see there is a little logo here at one side where the DCE is connected, like this logo. So if like that, okay, now we already have all the routers interconnected. We are not going to configure them. Before I go into that, I'm going to bring in a switch. Why? I need a switch to connect my devices. So I put one switch here, I put one switch here, and then I bring in my laptop. I put one laptop here, I put one more laptop here because I want to see if these two laptops can talk to one another. So let's connect them together using straight cable. Why straight cable? Because switch, color switch, straight cable. Switch always use straight cable to connect to other devices. Switch to another device is always a straight cable. When am I going to use a cross cable? I'm going to use a cross cable only when connecting similar devices, right? Like earlier, I was using router to router connection. I would have used a cross cable. Straight. Here, cross. Why? Because similar devices must use cross. Okay, fine. Now let's move on. Now we're going to start configuring. So before I configure, I'm going to show you what. On the left-hand side, I'm going to have a area. This area going to be my left area. Okay, up to here. And then I'm going to have my right area. Right area is up to here. Okay. Of course, there's one more in the center. I'm not going to explain to you about this. Understandably, this is the ISP. So on the left-hand side, there is one engineer. On the right-hand side, there's one engineer, obviously, always as usual. So this guy has an IP address range of, let's say, I'm going to give it, let's give this IP of, yesterday somebody asked me, I'm going to today follow the standard 10.0.0.0 subnet over here. And over here, I'm going to use 192.168.0.0/24 subnet. And then in the middle here, okay, because it's ISP. So since ISP, tolong jangan kacau saya, I'm going to just simply use 20.0.0.0/30 over here. 30.0.0.0/30 over here. Sorry. That'll be 50 lah, 50.0.0.0/30. 40.0.0.0/30. Okay, so that's my network is going to be. You understand or not? I only will give you the network. Exam also only going to give you the network. They're not going to give you everything like, step by step. So you have to figure out which IP to use. Now, which IP to use, that is actually another topic in IP subnetting. Now I won't have enough time to teach you on that. Sorry, guys. Probably we'll try to see another day on that. So if I already have the networks, let's go configure them. First, I'm going to do on the left-hand side, open up the laptop, go to the desktop, IP configuration, you know the IP, 10.0.0.1, or 1 will be always the router. So I'm going to use 255.255.255.0. Default gateway will be the 10.0.0.1, right? That's it. I'm done on the left. Let's go to the right. So now this guy uses 192.168.0 subnet. Go to desktop, IP. 192.168.0.2, 255.255.255.0, 192.168.0.1. That will be the IP of the gateway. That means what? Here. So now I've configured the what do you call the laptop? Let's go and configure the router as well. This router on the left. Okay, this router on the left. Go to command line, enter. No, enter, enter, enable, enter, config the enter, interface. And I got to configure which interface here. If you see, this is what? GI 000. So interface GI 0/0/0, IP address 192.168.0.1. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0. No shut. Voila, done. As simple as that. The link is working. Let's check it out from the laptop. Command prompt. Try to ping 192.168.0.1. Must be able to talk to each other. Why the link is not up yet? Why the switch is not yet up yet? Why it is performing spanning 350 seconds? Now only up. You should see it coming in a while. Okay, go. Now it works. So you must understand why there is a delay. Yeah. Okay. So we have configured on the right and I'm going to configure on the left. Let me just quickly configure it. And then how do I going to configure this? Easy. Okay. Config T, interface GI 0/0/0, IP address 10.0.0.1, subnet mask 255.255.255.0, no shut. Okay, so we have now configured on the left and the right. Now, after this, we're going to configure the routing. So those of you guys who want to practice this on your own, get ready for the OSPF lab. Okay. All right. Give me 10 minutes of break and I will 5 minutes break and we will take 5 minutes of break and continue, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. Let's resume the session. So what have we done so far? We have configured the IP address for the laptop and the router. Switch, I didn't do anything, I'm not doing any VLAN. It's already two different segments segregated by a router. I only do VLAN if I don't have a router, right? Or actually you have multiple switches, then you want to do VLAN. So based on that, let's go and configure the routers. I'm going to start with the left one first. Okay, what we need to configure? Obviously, interface serial. Can you see there's two serial interface here? The one on top, serial 010, 010. Give it an IP. What is the IP assigned? 20 subnet. So 20001. Subnet mask 255.255.255.252 because that is /30. No shut. See, it's actually a what do you call as a DCE device. So give it a clock rate and a bandwidth. I'm giving it 10,000, 10 meg bandwidth, 100,000, 100 meg bandwidth and 64,000 clock rate, standard kbp. Now I'm going to configure the interface serial 0/10, 11. How do I do this? Go type exit one round, type interface serial 0/1/1. Okay. What's the IP address to use? 50.0.0.1. 255.255.255.252. No shut. See here, I don't have to configure the clock rate because it has to be configured on the other side. So leave it as it is. Go to the next router. So we go to this router first. I'm going to configure this guy. No, enter, enter, enable, enter, config T, enter, interface. Okay, what I'm going to configure here. We're going to configure serial 010. Serial 010, IP address 20.0.0.2, 255.255.255.252. No shut. Now here I don't have to configure anything. The interface will come up. Why? Because I am DT. I'm the terminal equipment. That means I'm the customer. That's ISP. ISP give, I take. So this link is up. All right. Now on the right hand side. Next one I'm going to configure on the right hand side, right? Which is serial 0/11 30.0.0 subnet. So I'm going to use IP number 1 and that is a DCE, yeah? Okay. So with that in mind, interface serial 0/1/1. Okay. IP address 30.0.0.1 255.255.255.252. I have to give clock rate and bandwidth. Okay. Clock rate 64,000. Bandwidth 100,000. What do I configure this clock rate bandwidth? That's the speed lines. I'm specifying the speed that we are giving it. Okay. And then no shut. You only do this once. You do it only onto the DTE interface. How do I know this is a show? So you can actually do show interface serial 0/1/1. You can see it's actually a D what? This is okay. When I show the interface, you can see this is actually come down a bit. What? A DCE or DTE? How do I see this? You cannot see with show interface alone. Show controller. Okay lah. Show controller. Do show controller serial. Hold on a moment. Show controller. Yeah. Serial 0/1/1. Right. Now you see. You know it's a DCE. There's one more guy, right? Serial 010. So if I check on that guy, serial 010. This is a DTE. So you know which is a DCE, which is a DTE. So you know now this is a DCE. So you must configure the clock rate bandwidth. All right, the configure ready. Now let's go to the next guy. The final guy. We already configure one side, you remember? So I can just show IP interface brief. There you go. One has been configured. Now what we have to configure is serial 010 and serial 010 and 011. So now 010 first. Config T, interface serial 010, right? 011. Yeah, 010. IP address 30.0.0.2. 255.255.255.252. No shut. Here, no shut enough. Why? Because there's a DC on the side. Only on the other interface, I must set the clock rate bandwidth. So let's also just go and do this for the second guy, which is mana mau tengok susah sangat lah. Can you see it's there? There, serial 011. Okay. Now let's go to serial 011. Give it an IP. This guy IP is should be in the range of 40. 40.00. I'm going to give it as IP number 1. 255.255.255.252. No shut. Give it a clock rate. Give it a bandwidth. That's it. Done. Now, last final call. Final router. So what am I going to configure on this router? You know, right? I'm going to configure network 50 and 40. For 40, it should be 40.00. Because earlier I chose what? Here I use 40.0.0.1. So I'm going to use 40.0.0.2 here. First, let's do that. For interface serial 010, No, enter. Enable enter. Config T, enter. Interface serial 010. IP address 40.0.0.2. Right. This guy. Since this is 40.0.0.1, so I'm going to configure 40.0.0.2. 255.255.255.252. No shut. Here, I do not do anything because this is a DT device. Only on the other side, serial 011. So let's go into serial 011. Serial 011. Serial 011. Okay, IP address. I said 50.0.0. This guy uses 50.0.0.1, so I have to use 50.0.0.2. 255.255.255.252. No shut. All right. There's a clock rate bandwidth I have to include. Okay. Otherwise, you see, the interface down again. So you want it to change up, right? Not down. So clock rate and give it a bandwidth. How much you want to use? Sorry, 100,000. Okay. Now if I go back here, all of them are communicating. So my configuration is complete. But I have not able to make any routing communication yet because this is what we're going to do next. So, did you guys enjoy? Boleh faham ke? Hey, when you do Cisco work, that's what you do lah. You got to know how to configure the routers. You got to know how to configure the routing protocol. You got to know how to configure the components. So I'll give you guys 5 minutes time to digest this because after this, we're going to go into OSPF. Okay. OSPF, a little different than this. We're going to configure the routing protocol. Just I'll give you a brief command outline, what we're going to configure in all of the routers. For OSPF routing protocol, all you have to do is what? Config T, router. I already showed you guys RIP earlier. Now this is OSPF, router OSPF. Give it a network 10.0.0.0. This will a little unique than RIP, got something extra where you have to give its wildcard mask and area 0 at the end. This is the command. So for every network in OSPF, we will need to put this word area and then the subnet mask in a reverse order. 255.255.255.0 terbalik. 0.0.0.255. This is called wildcard mask, reverse mask. So must learn lah. So I know it's a bit confusing, but don't worry. As you learn more on these, you will become more used to it. Okay, that's good. All right. So next, we're going to configure this. Before I do this configuration on each of the router, of course, each router going to have multiple network. If here I'm going to have network 20, 30, and 10. If here I only have 2, 20 and 30. If here I have 30, 40 and 192. If here I have 2, 10 and 50. So that means in each router, I'm only going to include the networks that they belong to. Like on the far left here. So I have to have 20.0.0.0, 0.0.0, 255, area 0, and then network 50.0.0.0 with the wildcard mask of 0.0.0. Actually, this one is not 255, this is actually 3. Why 3? Got a calculation for that. I will show you after the break. So now I want you to digest this. This is for simply for router 0. Okay. We have to check for all the routers, the configurations. We will see this when we are back from break. We take a short break lah. See, hari ni banyak hectic, so I will do like that lah. I give you break, then I give you more break. Sorry, no choice lah. So I'll catch you guys later at 7:30. 15 minutes, I give you a break. 15 minutes, I give you a break. So digest lah. So we're going to configure this routing table after this. So when we come back, we're going to do OSPF. See, I want to show you one more. Before this RIP configuration. If you look at RIP, the same thing you want to do. Only difference, I don't have to do all of these. If it is RIP, I don't type OSPF, I type RIP. That's all. If I want to configure EIGRP, okay, EIGRP, how? I take the whole thing like this. Okay, let's see. EIGRP command is EIGRP. So router, not RIP, but EIGRP. Network, correct. See, the thing is, unfortunately, if I look at this, RIP senang, EIGRP pun senang, but here got some number at the back. I will tell you what this number is about later. Here got also a number, router OSPF. This one also one number. Here got no number, RIP got no number. EIGRP and OSPF got number. What the hell they got number about? Later. We will explore these after the break. Calm yourself down. We'll watch back at 7:30. Thank you, guys. Meanwhile, try lah. Recreate this network on your own. Otherwise, I will give you the link and then you can just, start from this lab. Okay? CCNA, NTW lab 3. Every day I give you one lab. Tak tahu lah orang pakai ke tak pakai. You must use it lah, man. Then you can actually, master the whole subject. I'm sorry. Okay, so I saved it at this place. So let's go back to the same place to copy lab 3 into Telegram. So you can download this and can try this lab as well together with me. I'm going to do the routing protocol after this. Yesterday one we did, switching, So you don't know, download that, try that. Today we're going to do OSPF, EIGRP, RIP routing. And RIP no need lah. RIP is the thing, a very easy one. So we're going to see OSPF and EIGRP. We can see all three. Can I do all three? Can. See, installing OSPF, EIGRP, RIP is like teaching the routing protocol or language lah. As long as you configure everywhere OSPF, everywhere OSPF will work. As long as everywhere you configure EIGRP will work. So I'll catch you guys after the short break and back. Thank you. Okay, guys, let's start the session. 7:30 now. Okay, so far, let's recap what so far we have done. I hope you all can recall back your memory. We have configured on the left-hand side, the laptop, on the right-hand side, the laptop, and then we configured all the routers. We have also configured the routing protocol, OSPF. No, we have not configured the routing protocol. We have configured all the routers. So technically, from end to end, without the routing protocol, it won't work. So I'm going to test. Doing 192.168.0.2. This is the guy that you want to talk to. Unreachable. Why? Routers are not talking to one another. Actually, this guy is a packet tracer. I also got simulation where you can test this out over here. But no, I'm not going to ask you guys to do all these things at the moment now because it's sufficient. So what we're going to do now, let's see. Configure the routing protocol. Let's start the left-hand side. If you remember, there's still 3 network, 10, 50, and 20. That's all. Very easy. Enter, enable enter, config the enter. Hello.
Ya.
Yes.
Baru kuat. Tadi slow.
Oh, okay. Boleh dengar?
Boleh.
Okay, sekarang router OSPF 10. Simple command, guys. Apa susah sangat network? Sebelah kiri 10.0.0.0. Dia punya subnet mask was 255.255.255.0. Terbalik 0.0.0.255. Area 0. Why area 0? Why 0.0.0.255? Itu nanti bila you join my CCNA class full time, then kita explore. For now, if you understand, it's basically wildcard mask. It's a requirement for the configuration of the area 0. Net 20.0.0.0.0.0. This guy is actually 3, Now, why there is a 3 number there? Okay, the one we'll explore in the class. The last one is actually 50.0.0.0. Right. And if you notice, I only put the subnet network address. I do not put the IP address. IP, I leave it 0. That's the format. So you have basically configured the router on the left. That's all. Apa susah? Let's do the right-hand side one, okay? So right-hand side, enter, enable enter, config the enter, router OSPF 10. See, just now I use what? 10. So here also I must use 10. No, any number will do. That's the thing. Area must be the same. The OSPF process number, this is actually a process number. You can have multiple OSPF instances running. So don't worry lah. Network 192.168.0.0.0.0.0.255, area 0. And network 30.0.0.0.0.0.3, area 0. Network 40.0.0.0.0.0.0.3, area 0. Okay, configured ready, this router. Now we have to configure the one in the center. So let's configure the one on the top first. Okay, you will see a magic now. Enable config T, router, OSPF. Okay, the moment I enable the routing protocol and I started to give the network is actually 20 and 30. So let me give the network 20 first. You see in a moment, there will be a output communication between the two routers. Of course, 20 means these two guys are talking. You see, OSPF adjacency established. They loading state into full. That means, they exchange routing table ready. That's all now. Very easy. If I'm talking in English, you can understand English. Whatever I tell, you can understand like that. So next is, of course, I got to also include the network. What? 30, right? I see 30 also. 30.0.0.0.0.0.3, area 0. Boom. There will be one more communication with the neighbor on the right-hand side. Sudah connect. You see? If the established connection, there will be some output. Okay, you want to see full, done. You want to see the neighbor IP, betul-betul, correct. Jangan salah configure. Okay, so now you see the top one is working. Actually, now itself I can ping, it will work, If I go here, I ping now, it should work. How did it work? It is actually going through the link on the top. The bottom one is not included in the network. How am I telling this? Go simulation. Start ping again. Now you see what happens. I show you step by step. First packet is created. The packet is sent to the switch. Then the switch sends the packet to the router. The router look at the database in the routing table and send it to router on top, because that is the router one which I configured with the OSPF. The one at the bottom I have not configured. Okay, so next it goes down, it goes to the destination and come back. Come back also same route. So very nice, huh? That's simulation. Chuko, we go back real time. Now I'm gonna bring this guy also into the routing environment. So enable config T, router, OSPF 10, network, 40, network, 40,000, subnet mask 0,003, area 0. Then the other one is network 50. As I include these, you will see ready that both have fully established route. So if I actually go to router 0, I can see in the router 0, do show IP route. This all configurations in Cisco router that you must become familiar. So if I see here the show IP route configuration, which is I want to see the configuration, I can see here got O. This O is OSPF. This O is OSPF. So I've learned network 30 and 40. Also learn network 192.168.0.0 wire 20.0.0.2. Okay. Again, do show IP route. So that is my routing table. Remember this guy, if let's say this one I suddenly shut off. Okay, I abruptly shut off, the link is down. Can they still ping? They're supposed to be able to ping using the router at the bottom. Also routing in the network one. There you go, succeeded. So if I now go to router at the bottom, or I look at this router, my router, show IP route, I can see network wire 50.0.0.2. Just now was what? 20, now 50. Why? Because I shut down the other router. Now I'm going to turn on this router. All right. So let them all talk to each other. Which one do you think the path the router will take? Is it going to take the top or the bottom? It doesn't matter lah. Whichever way you want to take. We just want to see now the connection, the communication. All right, let's look at the router now here to show IP route. I'm still establishing router 50.0.0.2 as my routing table. Why? Apparently between the two, it choose the one that is, constantly talking. So that is routing protocol. Penat? Susah? Mau faham? I hope not. See, I'm going to now teach you next routing protocol, which is the EIGRP. So far, we looked at OSPF. That's one. RIP, kita sudah tengok on the first day. Third, now we're going to look at EIGRP.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
The area 0, is it a must we need to use 0 or can use any number?
Okay, let's see. What is this area 0 thingy is all about? You create RIP routing protocol. All the routers are RIP enabled. Now, they don't have any additional parameter to limit how to talk to one another. It is just like, I teach you Chinese. You can talk to all Chinese. Like that, lah. Wait. If it is in Chinese also, you have, their own dialect. Cantonese, Mandarin, like that. Then, you now need to have, some additional parameter. So the people who want to talk to one another must be able to understand. So now if I give RIP, all can talk to each other. If I give OSPF, area 0, all can talk to each other. If I give EIGRP, as long as they're all in the same autonomous system, or what we call as the AS number, this one, they all can talk to each other. So in RIP, as long as the routing protocol is the same. In EIGRP, as long as the EIGRP number is the same. In OSPF, it is the area, not the process ID. This is called process ID. So what is process ID? Process ID means you can run multiple OSPF in your environment. See, OSPF is a very complex routing protocol. So I hope you can differentiate between them. Okay, now let's go back to our topic, the OSPF and EIGRP. So what is this area 0? What is this autonomous system? Please differentiate. Senang saja. RIP tak ada apa-apa value. EIGRP follow this value. OSPF follow area 0 value. Habis apa benda ni? Ini a random number. You letak lah. You kena letak satu nombor. Any number will do. As long as the number is between 1 to 4 million, the router will accept. See, basically it's like this, The routing protocol RIP, the router learn RIP, he can only do one RIP. If routing protocol EIGRP, the fella learn EIGRP, he can talk to different EIGRP group because you have this different numbers. If OSPF, I use the area as my communication platform. So every router in one area will talk to each other. So I must belong to area 0 and another area if I am giving inter-area connection. Now, in this scenario, currently now we are doing, it's all in one single area dimension. So you don't have to worry. Okay, I'm going to now go into the router, configure EIGRP. As I said, EIGRP, very easy. Very easy. Same formula like what you did earlier. But remember the command. Okay, I'm going to show you now. We're going to do on the left, right? Enter router EIGRP 10 network. Very easy. 10.0.0.0. That's all. Tak payah bagi tahu apa-apa lagi. Network 20.0.0.0. Network 50.0.0.0. Many people ask me, oh, macam ni bagus lah cikgu, I pakai EIGRP. Remember, then you must make sure everything is Cisco. Kalau you punya company tak boleh beli Cisco router, Cisco router mahal bang. Sorry lah. No, I'm going to now configure EIGRP here. Enable config T router EIGRP. Remember the number must be the same. 10 means must be 10. Network. This guy has two network, 20 and 30. 20.0.0.0. Network 30.0.0.0. So I've configured this guy. Now let's go to the one over here. Enter. Router EIGRP 10. Network, very easy. 30, 40, 192, 168. Okay, so network 30, 40, 192, and 00 subnet. Okay, and last, this guy. So very easy. Router EIGRP 10 network. This guy at the bottom, right? 40 and 50, right? 40.0.0.0 and network 50.0.0.0. So basically, you can see after I configure only the EIGRP has established. Now there is a next question. I have OSPF. I didn't remove my OSPF. I bring in EIGRP. Apa akan jadi? Okay, what you must understand, the routing protocol all have their own value. If I have RIP, no else, RIP menang. If I have OSPF and RIP, OSPF menang. If I have EIGRP, EIGRP menang. So I hope you understand. Because why? Yeah, they have a different value. EIGRP, the value is the lowest, 90. OSPF, 110. EIGRP is 120. So the value, like if I'm gonna buy ticket, one is $80, $90, one is 110, one is 120. Mestilah saya beli yang murah punya, 90 ringgit. So which is the murah? EIGRP. Bukan cakap murah, this is the most efficient. This is the most fastest. That is the winning protocol. So let me just double confirm. I try ping again. Ping works. I go to the router here. I look at show IP route. What had happened? Just now I show you wording 0. O means OSPF. You can see here. D means EIGRP. O means OSPF. So you have here EIGRP protocol and OSPF protocol. Both. Not bad. But which one is winning for 40? Obviously, the 90 is winning because 90 lower value. 110 is higher value. What the hell is the behind one? This is called metric. If I have multiple OSPF path, then there will be multiple value, but same number. So then you have, different metrics. It's like just the costing lah. 128 and 268 not the same. This one is OSPF. This one is EIGRP. So not the same. But what we want to see is the number here in front. So if exam asks you question, which one is the network that will be chosen? Choose the lowest number. That means in order for me to go to network 40, I will go to router 50.0.0.2. That's what it means. Using EIGRP routing protocol, not the OSPF, the one on top. Okay. So we have looked at routing protocol. We have looked at OSPF and EIGRP. See, very easy, right? Apa susah sangat? If you want me to show you RIP also can. Now, if I don't want this routing protocol, I can remove. I can see the statistics. I can see what's happening inside. Many things you can do lah. But this is sufficient for CCNA at this practical sessions. I'm introducing to you all the labs. Advanced labs you can do using other tools to combine many features. All right, so lab is completed. Thank you so much for your attendance and observation today. Any questions? I'll open the floor. Meanwhile, everyone kindly tolong open your screen. We are going to have a session photo. Boleh faham ke? I know lah, this session, sorry guys, jangan salah faham lah. We cannot be having like one-to-one teaching. So I know it might be little more difficult to catch up, but don't worry. With the perseverance and enough timing and exercise, you can learn. I'm going to have one more national training week, but this time it's going to be for exam preparation only. That means I'm not going to show you. See, this round, I show you all labs. I pun malas lah nak cerita panjang-panjang because I don't know you are listening to me or you are sleeping. Biasalah, everyone is working. So,
Boss.
yes.
Boss.
Yes.
Jangan lupa Telegram
Apa dia?
Or recording send to
Recording. Recording, yes. Nanti I will share with you guys the recording, okay? I will also try to upload into streaming video ke mana-mana. But sometimes copyright bang, takut tunjuk semua dekat luar publicly kan? So only for my students. This is actually a privilege to have all of you all in the session in CCNA. I hope you guys are enjoying the session together. Everyone tolong buka kamera. Last, ambil foto, kita boleh balik. Thank you so much for attending. And I hope you guys do understand the subject. You're benefiting from the program. How am I going to show everyone in the session? Together mode lah. Tapi ada berapa ramai dalam 50 saja. Oh, yang lain belum buka lagi kamera. Everyone, last tolong buka kamera. Okay, meanwhile, I'm going to send you a link for your attendance. Tolong fill up the form. The attendance I will send in our Telegram group, guys. Ambil dekat Telegram group lah. Also, I will share the attendance in WhatsApp group. Because for the certificate generation, later on HRD will require your attendance. So tolong sign attendance, there will be a certificate from HRD. So thank you so much for joining the session, everyone. Boleh lah, bye-bye.
Sir, can I get the Telegram group link?
Telegram group link. Are you in the WhatsApp group?
No, sir. Both in.
How can I give you in chat? Can you guys see my chat here? If otherwise, I'll share you the Telegram link here. Join Telegram group. Nanti WhatsApp. WhatsApp link is dalam Telegram. Boleh ya bang? Anybody planning to take CCNA exam next 3 months time? Tak ada kah? Ambil belajar saja, knowledge saja kah? So anybody planning to take the exam, please contact me. There you go. I already give you the link for the Telegram. Dalam tu kita ada kita punya WhatsApp group. Ada question? Tak ada question. Thank you so much for everyone's attendance. Okay guys, bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Boleh lagi WhatsApp dekat Telegram dengan WhatsApp. Guys, recording issues, tunggu sekejap. I also don't know lah. I dah share. Kalau you tak dapat juga, I will figure out a way to share it all in a different way. But this week I'm sibuk dengan MDEC, Microsoft AI training and CCNA HRD Corp. So next week lah baru mungkin kot. So meanwhile, thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.